for more than a year about people moving, as in literally moving from one residence to another, by bicycle. It was hard for me to think of a more unimpeachable use for an internal combustion engine than renting a truck to carry furniture across town. But then I decided to help out on a bike move. Babs Adamski, who worked at a used bookstore at the Central Library, was moving out of a house she shared with a couple of roommates into a smaller home about 6 miles away. She had only a fraction of the furniture of the typical suburban homeowner, but she did possess a bed, a chest of drawers, a couch, and a lot of boxes, among other things. I showed up around 11 a.m. and found that I wasn't alone. There were more than 20 of us, and we spent more time eating donuts and drinking coffee than carrying furniture. With so many people around, getting the stuff out to the bikes was pretty quick. The thing is, I've never seen a truck move and track 15 or 20 friends, explained Steve Kirkendall, a computer programmer, as he cinched boxes into his bike trailer. It's like a barn raising, added Timo Forsberg, who managed to secure the mattress to his trailer. Everybody loves to help their friends, but they don't realize that until after they do it. The best part, however, was after we started on our 6-mile journey. There were 18 cyclists with loaded trailers, and another 3 or 4 of us with various items on racks and in panniers. Despite the drizzly weather, we enjoyed the surprised looks and smiles from onlookers, and I saw just one angry motorist who yelled something after being delayed at one intersection. Quote, "There's something about being out there on the road with a bunch of funny-looking, goofy vehicles filled with stuff hanging out," explained Forsberg, who kept up a steady stream of banter during the ride. "Do you think it makes my bike look fat?" he asked in mock concern at one point as his trailer swayed back and forth under the weight of the mattress. At the other end, we had the trailers unloaded in a flash. I only carried 2 armfuls of stuff. Then we started eating pizza and drinking beer. And I will now be happy to take questions, folks. All right,
I just wrote a paper on bicycle transportation through my school right now, and I was wondering if there was any information you had on how much money a person would save, since you were talking about the economics. How much money a person would save as a bicyclist versus being a motorist over a bike?
Well, here's one little, and these numbers change quite a bit, but AAA, the last time I looked, they calculated that the average cost of operating a motor vehicle for a year, owning and operating a motor vehicle, is over $7,000. And that was not when gas was $4 a gallon. Well, it's not that now. So think of that, if you can, forget about, for the moment, just the argument going to 0 cars. Think of a family can go from 2 cars to 1 car. If they're going to save $7,000 a year, that's much more than they're ever going to get from any sort of tax cut, whether from the current administration or the previous administration. So it's a quite different thing. In fact, one of the biggest problems, frankly, with bicycling is it can be so cheap. That people talk about this in the bike advocacy movement, is they don't have the kind of clout that you get, for example, if you're a defense contractor. When you're selling planes for $50 million a copy, you can pay for a lot of expensive lobbyists. And bikes are too damn cheap. I actually have a solution to that, and that is to require a prescription to own and operate a bicycle. And you just get it through your health insurance at work. And believe me, the pharmaceutical industry is really, really good at getting things done. And so I think we should just turn it all over to them, problem solved. So, anybody else? Yeah, in the back there.
What was your favorite part about writing this book and the research involved?
The research was a lot more fun than the writing. I can't tell you what it's like to sit inside on a nice summer day, the sun streaming in through the window, and I'm sitting glued to a computer screen when I could be out riding, R-I-D-I-N-G, with my friends, which is why probably nobody else wrote this book before. There's probably lots of great writers out there. And so the research was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the heck out of New York. I can't tell you, you have this impression that New York City is just too scary to ride in, but you'd be surprised how many of you in this room could do it once you kind of get the feel for it, and it's the most exhilarating feeling in the world, I got to tell you. It was a lot of fun, yeah.
You mentioned earlier about not being invited on the Lars Larson show. I was kind of hoping maybe you invite yourself, just because the media has got a fair amount of either at best indifferent people or downright hostile, and it would be so nice for every one of you. There's 5 Lars Larson's voices out there that are misinforming people about cycling. So I hope you do get on a show and maybe
That might be. I am going to be on Victoria Taft's show next Monday. Does anybody know her? She's, I think she's pretty pro-car. I don't think she thinks too much. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah. Tune in. Like I want to say, like 6:30 p.m., 6:15, something like that.
what station is it?
KPAM. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering, do you know if the Obama administration is going to talk about bicycling as a form of public health reform?
Well, there is more interest in it. In fact, Obama was the first, major presidential candidate. This was before he was the nominee. I think it was after it was pretty clear he was going to be the nominee, though, to actually participate in a fundraiser put on by the bike community. And that had never happened before. When he was a senator, one of the first bills he introduced was a bill to basically have the federal government coordinate its development policies, like where they put federal buildings and things, to meet with local land use goals and health goals as well. So I think he is clued into this issue. Now, I've covered politics for a long time, so, don't necessarily look for big change quickly, but, I feel like I've been over this side of the room. Anybody over? Yes?
I'm wondering if you looked into what's going on politically in South America, in Colombia, some of the efforts being made there.
I'd like to do more there. Can I talk to you about funding, and we can? Yeah, I would have loved to have done a lot more international travel. I mean, Bogota. I don't know. Maybe not all of you know, but Bogota is famous in the bike world. They were really. They had a mayor. Penelosa. I'm trying to think of his first name. Enrique, right. His brother is Gil. That's what I was trying to think of too. And he's really become a spokesman internationally for making the bicycle a major part of a city's life. He hugely expanded the mileage for bikeways in Bogota. He set up a bus rapid transit system, and he really popularized what they call a cyclovia, like our Sunday parkways that we started last year. And I've seen films of what they do down there on Sundays. They literally have hundreds of thousands of people out on Sundays, out exercising, riding, at dance, lessons that they put on, aerobics, things. It's really quite an amazing thing. And I would love, if anybody, like I said, if there's a publisher back there with a big contract, I'd love to spend the next couple years bicycling the great cities of the world. The other regret I have is that I really kind of did my international travel and finished a lot of the research before Paris started its bike share system. I think that could really, have a big impact potentially. One bike consultant I talked to in Arlington who helped get a small bike sharing program going in Washington, D.C., said, to get a lot of bikes out on the street, you got to put a lot of bikes out on the street. That's what Paris did with 20,000 of them. So that's a very intriguing experiment. Yeah.
Get a chance to touch on this new national bikeways plan that's been.
Yeah, I know something about it. In fact, I was talking to Jim Sayers, who just last week, who is in charge of adventure cycling, and he feels like they've made some encouraging progress on it. The new Congress is interested in that, but I'll confess I don't know a real lot about it. Yeah.
When you were in Amsterdam, is there any such thing as bike culture there, and what do you think the purpose and the effect of our bike culture is as far as athletes?
Well, a couple of things. One, in Amsterdam, I think there is some of it. You see a few tall bikes there, and people kind of see the bike in artistic ways. I have a passage in the book where I went and visited a guy who started out with an art gallery. He was an artist, and asked a friend to bring some bikes in